When you're asked to imagine a family, what picture comes to your mind? Most people probably would imagine a father, a mother, and their child. This concept of family is the most globally recognized, and is also defined as the nuclear family. However, with the times and cultural changes, the definition of family can grow as well. For example, the increasingly tolerant and progressive society in Germany grants space for minority families to emerge into civilization, and this development provided an expansion of the interpretation of family. Even so, the population of these new family concepts is still tiny, and also considered foreign, so that some who still have a conservative mindset do not acknowledge their existence. As a result, there is negative stigma against minority families. This issue apparently affects the representation of family in some of family-themed German advertisements. Family advertisements have been appeared in Germany since the 20th century, to advertise household products, such as foods, herbs, and laundry soaps. The depiction of the concept of a happy traditional family has a familiar value in society, and is the selling power of the ad. However, in 2017 to 2019, there were 3 advertisements that were bold enough to represent new family concepts. The 3 brands are Bärenmark, Telkom, and McDonald's. The advantage of these advertisements is the high value of originality, where mostly family ads uphold conservative elements. In addition, these brands will be more appreciated by consumers, because they have supported the agenda of inclusiveness, diversity, and tolerance. However, they do not necessarily leave the familiarity value of a family theme, but combine it with the value of originality, to produce a memorable ad. In this article, inclusiveness is the focus of research topics. The author wants to find out how each ad's strategy is in providing space for the diversity of family concepts to fulfill the inclusiveness agenda. This problem will be answered using descriptive methods, along with related literature reviews, and supported by the theoretical basis of the 4 variables of the family concept based on the book Family Report from year 2017. These variables are conventional family, single-parent family, family with ethnic minorities, and same-sex parents family. The result of analysis showed that there are some variables that weren't represented in 2 advertisements. Bärenmark didn't represent family with ethnic minorities, and Telkom didn't represent single-parent family. McDonald's was the only one that represent all of the variables. But the author also found new family concepts that weren't in the variable list. Telkom advertisement represented multiracial family and patchwork family. And McDonald's represented family with transgender parent, and family without children. Meanwhile, Bärenmark didn't represent any new family concept. There are also variations in the domestic element in the 3 ads. The domestic field is closely related to the family theme, so it can be said that this element has the familiarity value in these 3 advertisements. Bärenmark is the most domestic advertisement of the 3. It shows very homey scenes like eating together at the dining table, falling asleep in the living room, and playing with the whole family. Another element is the discourse of childhood happiness, in which children's characters play the main role in advertising as product consumers, and implement a message that a happy family is a family that consumes Bärenmark. Telkom advertisements also put some domestic elements such as the background of the scene in the form of living rooms, and also some families that have very domestic characteristics, but there are also some that are a bit eccentric. On the other hand, McDonald's ad barely shows a domestic element, because the representation of diverse families in this advertisement only uses logos, so it doesn't relate to everyday life. In addition to the differences, these 3 advertisements also have similarities which appear to be the evidence that the conventional family concept is still the main family representation in the three advertisements. The first factor can be seen from the placement of this type of family in the three ads. There is a similarity that the family presented at the opening of each ad is a conventional concept family. It might be done to give the audience a sense of familiarity when viewing these advertisements within first seconds. The second factor is that the conventional concept families have more numbers than the total of families with other concepts. The third factor is the limitation in the representation of the concept of minority families. This limitation refers to non-conventional family depictions that are normative in terms of social and gender roles, and are very domestic in nature. Whereas the conventional family is described as more diverse, unique, and outside the domestic zone. Based on the research results, there are differences and similarities in the three advertisements, in providing space for the diversity of family concepts. Some advertisements do not represent some family concept variables, and the three prioritize conventional family representations. However, we cannot measure the value of inclusiveness, because this assessment is subjective. Inclusion of the whole family concept is almost impossible, because the definition of the family is fluid, and constantly evolves, such as the discovery of a new family concept that does not exist in the research variable. The priority in conventional family representation is also an advertising strategy to attract the attention of consumers with the majority demographic. But the appearance of family diversity in advertising is also a great start. With the exposure from the mass media, there will be a more positive presumption towards minority families, that the ideal family can also be realized from this type of family.